Hello, and welcome to today's installment of Created for Me, the podcast. As usual, I am super excited to have you here with me. And with me today in the studios, I've got Abiola Adediran. And today's conversation, I promise you, is going to be super worthwhile. You want to stay for this one. Abiola Adediran is a corporate finance and business strategy expert. She's a speaker, she's an author, she's a trainer, she's a mentor. Are you hearing all these things? Whose work and impact over the years have been instrumental in driving key transformation across different sectors within Nigeria. She's also worked with KPMG Professional Services, a leading Big Four global consulting firm, where she's provided excellent consulting services to blue chip companies and multinationals. And she rose to the position of a manager before she left the firm. She's the chief financial officer of a leading investment management group in Africa with investments in financial services, oil and gas, real estate, fintech, private equity. She's basically, in fact, yes, she's the founder of Midridge International, a Pan-African social impact organization that provides world-class business strategy, financial advisory, and capacity building support to grow SMEs across Africa. Look, Abiola, if we read all of your bio, that would be all of the podcast. So I would have to stop now because you're way too qualified.
Oh wow, that's so humbling.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. It is exciting to, have this conversation with you. I've been watching you for a while and I said, you know what, I can't wait to have you sat exactly where you are now. So I'm super excited and welcome.
I'm really honored. I'm really privileged to be here sitting with you, Tonbra, and doing this. It's amazing. I've listened to quite a number of your podcasts, and I must tell you, they are amazing. The stories are insightful, they are inspirational. And I told myself that someday I'm going to be on this podcast. And here I am.
Law of attraction. That's what they say. You just say it. And it comes to you. I love it. Guys, first lesson, right? Law of attraction. Just put it out there and it comes to you. I love it. So Biola, I want you to introduce yourself. That's where I always start with my guests. I want you to, tell us who you are beyond the script. Who is Abiola?
Abiola is who I would call a transformational catalyst.
I love it.
I see myself as someone who really must, bring solution as a matter of this is my purpose in life. I feel like all of the work that I've done so far, I think what really stands out for me, or if I'm going to really describe all of the success that I've achieved so far in my career, in my business, one word that I would use to describe that is transformation. And honestly, that is what I look out for. Wherever I am, I usually am looking out for where are the gaps, where are the weaknesses, what do we need to fix, what do we need to change. That's what I'm always thinking about. That's what I'm always looking out for, right? So for me, transformation is at the heart of who I am and the work that I do, right? Yeah, I'm a career woman. I'm a corporate executive. I've worked in corporate Nigeria for about 15 years. I would say I have gotten to a pretty much, executive level, in what I do. But honestly, that position doesn't really define me, right? There are many times I go out and I meet people. I don't introduce myself as the chief executive or chief financial officer or chief anything of anywhere. I just introduce myself to people based on the work that I do and the solution that I bring. And honestly, I got to a position in my career or a level in my career, and I started to feel unsettled. I started to feel like there just has to be more. Is this all there is?
You were created for more. Yes, of course.
And that feeling you have that you're not even able to share with people, for the sake of not sounding ungrateful, or that, where you are is somebody else's prayer point right now. Like, what exactly do you want? What more do you want out of life? So I was careful who I was sharing those frustrations with. It wasn't like anything was wrong with my job. I was having a great time, but I still feel like something is missing. I still feel like, there is this sense, that kind of feels like I'm not fulfilled yet, as if I'm not yet doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Right? So it was in the quest of finding more and seeking for that more that I'm supposed to be doing that would, sort of bring the fulfillment, give me a sense of value addition to the world, that I decided to find who I am. And so I took a journey of discovery specifically in 2016,
Oh,
right?
wow.
Exactly. In 2016, I got myself a coach, right? And I just started this journey of discovering me. And it was in that space that I found who I am supposed to be, right? I know that at the heart of my core, I'm a counselor, and it is something that I do. I mean, I've always done it all my life without realizing that that was what I was doing. And as a young girl growing up, I wanted to be a medical doctor. And my idea of being a medical doctor was I wanted to be a family doctor, someone that could counsel families.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely. That was a picture I had in my mind. I would have my own family practice. I would be counseling young couples, children,
I
and
love
stuff
it.
like that.
I love
I did
it.
not know that it was the gift of counseling in me that was making me to see that, want to go in that direction. But
Yeah.
interestingly, I never studied medicine. I studied something else altogether. The journey, the
What
whole
did you
journey.
study? Let me hear. What did you
Interesting,
study?
I studied project management, and then
Wow! As
and
a
then
first degree.
I'm telling you, yes,
Is
that's what I
that
studied.
really? Wow, I didn't
Yes,
even know it was a thing. Where did you
it
study?
was. I studied at Lagos State University as my
Project
first degree.
management,
Project
BS.
management technology, yes, BTech.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And interestingly, in the journey of that, I got on the journey of studying for ICANN as well, because we were taking some management courses in school. And I thought I might as well just become a chartered accountant in the process. After all, I love numbers. So that started me off in my career. And interestingly, I started to work in one of the big four audit firms. And then that's how my journey started. But for me, it has always been a journey of how can I add value? How can I help somebody? What I did not understand, which was the gift of counseling that I had, was the fact that counseling in the marketplace was called consulting.
Okay now. Okay
I
now.
did not know.
Counseling in the marketplace is called consulting. Break that down. Deconstruct that for us,
All
please.
right. So you know that businesses, especially large corporates, like to use consultants, right? Now, what do consultants do for them? They help them to unpack whatever problems, whatever issues. In fact, most of the time, what they
Wow,
tell the
so good.
consultants is the symptoms that they are seeing. So it's either that they're saying our business is not growing, our bottom line is going down, our team, our people are not productive. We want to be able to synergize our team. We want to be able to plan ahead. We want our company to grow and scale. We are trying to raise funds, blah, blah, blah. They will tell the consultant what they think their problem is. Many times when the consultant comes in and begins to do a current state analysis, assessment of the business, they begin to find what exactly the problems are. They don't just only find the problem, they also recommend solutions. That's what consultants do. But guess what? That's also a counselor. A counselor doesn't always have to have all the answers, but you come to a counselor with a problem. It's either that you're struggling with a child that is, misbehaving, or you're struggling in your marriage, or you're struggling in your finances, and you need someone to just fix it, to just help you unravel what exactly the problem
Yeah.
is. And then
And
you're speaking to a
you see the
counselor.
symptoms and then
Exactly. And it
yeah.
goes through the same process. So
I
I
like
never
that
knew.
actually. I like that actually.
So my journey of wanting to do more, to be more, just started with me really discovering myself. And then
I want
profiling
to.
all my talents and my skills, and then seeing how I can deploy that to add value to people.
I would love to just kind of touch on that a little bit more, because I know that there are a lot of people that are listening who may feel like in that space where, you know what, by all the measures or all the yardsticks of success, they should be they're successful. In all the terms that you use to measure success, they're successful. But there's still that feeling within them that you said that you had in 2016, where you knew that, you know what, there has to be more. I want you to, what can you articulate that feeling? How how was it to sit in that, and where did you get to that you felt, you know what, I have to do something about it, I have to go and get a coach? And why was it a coach that you thought about first?
So for me at the time, it was this frustration that I was feeling.
Mm,
I could not even put my hand to what exactly the problem was.
mm,
All I knew was that there was just this unsettling feeling. You know, when you wake up in the morning and you don't have the enthusiasm to even go to work, you're
mm,
dragging yourself practically,
mm,
right? And this is work that you love, right? This is
mm,
work that you've been successful at. This is
mm,
work that you've been given awards for. And all of a
mm,
sudden, that work is not really as meaningful,
mm,
So you're in that space where, for me, it was an emotional tussle. I wasn't sure whether I should leave the job, but I knew it wasn't the job that was a problem. It was me. There was something going on. And I knew that
mm,
I was in that space where I felt like maybe God was trying to get my attention. Maybe God
mm,
wanted me to pay a bit more attention to certain things that I wasn't really paying attention. But honestly,
mm,
I had no clue what I was going to do
mm.
about it. So I thought, you know what?
I can totally, let me just interject there. I can so relate to you. Like, so relate to you. I used to be a creative. Well, I say I used to be, I am a creative, and I used to be, in fact, this is the first time I'm going to say this on this podcast, but I used to do events, wedding design. I've done this for years and absolutely loved it. It was my life. Everybody knows me and knows I'm synonymous for that. But
Hmm.
just came this time where I just couldn't. And I could really relate to you when you said, this is something that you loved. This is something that, or you love. You love. This is something that you've won awards for. Exactly the same for me. I love it, won awards for it. But I couldn't drag myself out of bed anymore. I couldn't do it. I couldn't face it. I just knew that, you know what, there has to be more. There has to be more. So I want to kind of touch on how you were able to navigate, because for me it was basically, I had to say necessary endings, hard line to say I'm no longer doing this, and I literally cut it out of me and said, the business is here and I'm here. I'm cutting it out. But for
Hmm.
you, was that what you did as well, or did you try and, what was what's your own journey like in terms of that navigating to that place of more?
So for me, I had many options. I had many thoughts, many ideas of what I thought I was going to be doing. And one of it obviously was perhaps maybe I should quit my job, you know. But before
Mm,
I did that, because I knew that this was a major decision in my life that I wanted to take. And there were a lot of things at stake as well. So I'd better be sure of what I
of
was doing,
course,
right?
of course.
So that was obviously why I decided, you know what? Let me get out of my own head, right? Let me speak to an expert. Let me speak to someone. Let me unburden, to an expert who can listen to me dispassionately and take
Mm,
me through a journey that helps me to see better. Eventually, when I went through that process, I realized that I don't necessarily have to quit my job. I love my job, really,
mm,
right? But I guess God gave me capacity to do much more that I'm not using. So
mm.
that unused capacity was beginning to give me frustration. I needed to channel that energy.
That is so good. It
Yes,
was unused capacity for you, not
absolutely.
necessarily that it was a lack of, you needed to, bin it or totally change trajectory. There was more in you,
Absolutely.
like a cup that was just like half full.
I was full. I needed to pour
Mm,
out. Do you
mm,
understand? So
mm,
in you know how you're constipated. And you just
I
feel
can
like you
totally
need
relate to
to
you.
release. So
I
in
can
my being
totally relate to you.
constipated and not releasing, I became frustrated. I didn't know what was going
Mm,
on. So for
mm,
me, that journey really opened me up to the fact that you have so much more in you. You have
mm,
capacity to do so much more. And interestingly, when I started, I started with volunteering. I started to
mm,
volunteer. I started to write for blogs. I started to put myself out as mentor. I started to put myself out as trainer, as coach, as this, as that. And it was in that process I began to find my voice and my message. I knew I could do a lot of things. I knew I had skill set, talent, experience in a lot of things. But that journey helped me to really define what exactly is that one thing that I want to or that I want to focus on. I also began to understand seasons, you know. So that journey, I mean, I've walked that path now strictly from 2018 when I decided to launch out. And when I was launching out, I wasn't going like I did it big. I launched my business, incorporated a business because I didn't want to do something that I would think maybe I'm not sure. Now that I've put myself out there, I just had to get going. And trust me, I've enjoyed it. It's refreshing. It's just it's fulfilling. It's been fulfilling. And one thing that gives me joy every day is the fact that I've decided to work in my purpose. I've been able to inspire a lot more people who now feel like I don't necessarily have to quit my 9 to 5 to give expression to all the burning desires inside of me. A lot
so
of
good.
us that are multipotentialite or that have different expressions, multi-influential flows and different things that we can do, I have been able to prove to people that you can give expression to everything that God has given you gifts for. And it doesn't mean that you have to quit your 9 to 5 to do it.
You don't have to quit your 9 to 5
God
to.
gave you a creative writing talent. You can deploy that as an author. You can deploy that by writing for blogs. You can deploy that by writing for children, creating cartoons, doing whatever that allows you to bring that creative talent to bless the world. And that doesn't
Yeah,
mean you
it
quit. You
doesn't
just
mean. Yeah. Talk to us about seasons. Because a lot of times it feels like a lot of people feel overwhelmed, when they try and do a lot of things at the same time. You've just talked about multi-potentialites. How are you able to work everything in harmony in your current state?
For me, it's about understanding my season, understanding what I'm supposed to be focused on part time.
Mm,
And that has helped me to balance the pressures of life, essentially. You know, people come to me and they ask me, how come you're able to, thrive in a pressured, well demanding job? Like this job is demanding. A C-suite executive, you are in one board meeting, you're in another meeting, and you're here, you're there, and you're still able to do all of the work that you do. What I tell people is understand who you are, first of all, understand your purpose, understand the season you are in. There was a time I fasted off social media. I went off social media because I knew that there was something that God wanted me to birth. And I knew that the pressure of having to show up on social media every day, to put out content every day, if I allow that pressure to get to me, I will not be able to give the necessary focus that I needed to give that vision at that point in time. So you don't have to be like everybody.
I love that.
You just have to understand what is it that God has asked me to do.
In this particular time,
In
what
this
is the most
particular
important time?
time. And once you are able to balance that out, you will realize that you are able to save yourself from overwhelm, you're able to save yourself from pressure, and also more importantly, I don't I don't live for the awards or the accolades of people. Once you are able to win yourself off what will your people say, or not trying to get everybody to like you or to, give you a thumbs up and everything. Once you're able to win yourself from that, and you're able to manage your ego, because many times the reason we put ourselves under pressure is because we want to be good, we want to look good, we want to appear good before everybody, we want to get people's endorsements, we want people to talk about us in a certain way. Meanwhile, you're putting yourself under unnecessary pressure, trying to amass all the
Amass all the accolades. How was it for you?
season.
Yeah, understand your season. How was it for you when you talked about stepping out? Stepping out and saying, you know what, this business, this is what I'm going to do. Did you feel any self-doubt at that point? Because this was a new thing that you were branching into. You talked about the fact that you didn't want it to be small, you wanted it to be big because you didn't want it to be like a side gig or anything. You wanted to put your foot out there. I mean, how was that feeling for you? And what would you advise people who are perhaps on the fence at the moment, who know that there is more within them, they want to step out, but they're not just sure, they don't have that confidence in themselves?
I wish I could tell you that it was all sweet and smooth and straight and all that. The way it appears that I'm saying it now, there were days I doubted myself. There were days I would want to put out a post on Instagram or LinkedIn, and I would not be sure whether I really wanted to do that. I wasn't sure how I was going to be perceived. I didn't want to appear like I was hustling. And that was a big deal for me, right? There were people that even started to ask me, you are really serious about this Instagram thing these days?
Oh, people.
Almost stylishly asking me, okay, lady, what's up? What are you up to? I didn't want to appear like I was hustling. So there were times that I would really want to put something out, and then I will ask myself question, should I really put it? Or how will it sound? And all of that. But it takes courage to do anything.
Yes,
anything. It takes courage to do. And it was a battle that I won daily. So it wasn't something that I would say, oh, this was when I really fully won the battle. It's a battle I'm still winning. As I'm stepping into bigger platforms. There was a day that, I was a particular organization reached out to me, and they wanted me to be a speaker at a program that they were doing and all of that. And I said, oh, yes, and before I knew it, my face was in the newspaper.
Oh, wow.
And I knew that this was a newspaper that my boss would get to see. And in fact, there was my name everywhere. I went through, oh my God, how are they going to react to me? Oh my God, my face is everywhere. Panic attack. Do you understand? But interestingly, nothing happened. Nothing happened. So you just have to be sure about what it is you're doing. Even the fear of what people will say, that imposter syndrome, that voice that tells you, who do you think you are? Who knows you? Who wants to hear your voice? There are established people there. Who are you? You're just coming up. Who wants to listen to you? There are different things that, will probably stop you or will attempt to stop you from really moving on. But you know what? Tell yourself you can do it. Tell yourself you can do it. For me, it's really about purpose. Once you know why you're doing what you're doing, that why will sustain you. It will keep you going. On those days that you even doubt yourself, on those days that you're not even sure about what you're doing, on those days when you're even asking yourself, who sent me a message? Who sent me on this errand? Who asked me to do this thing? Do you understand? There are those days. But when you remember your why, when you remember the reason why you're doing what you're doing, and you know that it is not about you. Because the truth is that if this was about me, I probably would have stopped a long time ago. But every time I wake up, and I feel like, oh God, I'm tired. I'm not sure I want to do anything today. I don't want to post anything online today. I don't want to reach out to my clients today. But when I remember that it is not about you, it is about the people you have been sent to. It is about that person who needs to hear your voice today. I send mails to my mailing list, people on my mailing list, and I get their feedback, almost as if they are waiting for what I'm going to say next. You know?
Wow.
So when you get that kind of feedback, you know that some people are
It
literally waiting
validates you.
on you.
It does. It does. It does. It does
They are
validate you.
waiting on you and they are
Mm,
feeding off your energy. So you can't afford to even hold back.
so
It's
true.
disservice to your world when you hold back. When
Mm,
you get to that point and you know that it's no longer about you, guess what? You will get the energy, you will
mm,
get the excitement. Before I
mm,
came on this podcast, I was tired. But I
mm.
knew that the
But
moment
the
I start
minute you start
talking to
speaking,
you, the energy will come because I know
that's
that
so
this is
true.
what I'm supposed to be doing.
I love it. I love it. I love it. There's the allocation that is already there waiting for you. As soon as you step into that, your power comes shining through. I love it. I want to talk a little bit about business. One of the things that particularly a lot of small businesses have is, that challenge or that tussle between I want to grow, but I also I'm not sure that I'm built up for that growth. So I'll just stay small, you know? So I want to talk about, scaling up as a business, particularly as a small business. Is there a time where you know that it's time to scale up? Is there an indication or a determination that, well, can it be, is it a science that you can say at this point when you're doing this is the time that you should be thinking about scaling up? Or is it more kind of, I don't know, as you see, then you're able to make that determination? I don't even know if I'm asking the question right, but
You are.
okay, cool. Answer it
You
then.
are. You are. There are many signs that make you know that you are at the point where you then need to scale, you need to expand your capacity to do more as a
Mm,
business.
mm,
So I will first of all address this mindset of I am a small business. I really don't like people saying I am a small business because there is something
mm,
in your psyche that keeps you small when you call yourself a small business.
mm,
Every opportunity for you to grow, you're going to kill that opportunity subconsciously
mm,
because you have told yourself you are a small business. You will
mm,
talk yourself out of opportunities that will make you grow because you will say, I'm not yet at that level, or
mm,
this is not meant for people like us, or we are not yet there, we are not yet ready, we are this, we are that. So I don't like to say I am a small business,
mhm,
right? I would rather say I am a growing business,
I like that. I
right?
like that.
So I recognize where I am. I'm not going to say I am big because I'm not yet big, but I'm not small. I am a growing
I am a
business,
growing business. I
right?
love it.
Now, when I say that, my brain recognizes the meaning of growth. How
Mm,
do you know when you're ready to scale? How do you know when you're ready to start to build capacity for the level of growth that you're aspiring for?
mhm,
For instance, you started out as a creative entrepreneur. You started to do the work by yourself. It was your skills, your creative talent that you were bringing to the marketplace, exchanging
mm,
value for value.
mhm,
And then you started with one client, and then two clients, and then three clients. And before you know it, you have 10 clients. You've not gotten to a position where you are beginning to negotiate timelines with your client. Your
mm,
turnaround time is not as great as it used to be before. You now
mm,
have to even disappoint some people because you're not able to meet up with their timelines.
mm,
At that point in time, when you're now saying, you know what, I'm swamped, I'm unable to take this on right now. At that point, know that you
mm,
are ready to grow and scale whatever it is that you're doing. That is
mm,
the sign that you're supposed to build capacity to be able to take on more.
mm,
At that point, you're supposed to be thinking, how do I do my work such that I'm able to duplicate myself in other people?
mm, mm.
How how do I make sure that this skill, this talent, whatever it is that I bring to bear that is value to my client, I'm going to duplicate it in other people, and we are all able to do amazing work, and then we begin to get exponential
Yeah.
results.
I hear that the objective for every founder is to make themselves redundant. Like
Absolutely.
that, yes, that is your objective. When you start a business as a founder, your objective and your goal is, the shortest time possible to be able to make yourself redundant in that business.
Absolutely. But again, you will find that some people will probably say that, but when you look at the way they are running their business, you will realize that they are not ready to let go and become redundant. I once had a client who, by the time we got into our business, she was running a pharmaceutical store. She was a pharmacist, and then she had started her business and everything. By the time we started to look at all the things that she was doing, she came to us saying, I'm overwhelmed, I'm tired, there are lots of things I want to do that I'm unable to do. My work is too much. I'm supposed to have opened a second store by now. I really want to open a second store, but I feel like this work will literally kill me if I open a second store and I'm going the way I'm going. How can I find more time to be able to do what I'm doing? Guess what she was doing? She was doing the work of the people that she has hired to do the work. She was essentially not doing a CEO roles. She was actually doing the work of the people that she had hired. Why? She started as a one-man business. She's already done those things. So even when she hired people, she was still doing their work. She did not realize it, that she was actually still doing the work of the people that she was paying. And those people would just leave the work for her because they know she likes to do it. She will do it anyways. Do you see? So she's paying them for the work that she's already doing herself, and that she's getting overwhelmed in the process. So when I began to show all of these things to her, do you know the question she asked me?
What?
She said, if I leave all of these things, what then am I supposed to be doing? It was clear to me. It was clear to me that she was holding everything tight to a test. She wasn't willing to let go, whether consciously or subconsciously. Put herself in that space where she felt like she needed to hold everything for everything to work.
And for some people, it is connected to worthiness. You feel that the only way you can be here and make a valid contribution is by working in instead of on your business. You just feel it
Absolutely.
connected to your sense of worth, and that is why people stay stuck there.
It's just a myth.
It is
It's just a
indeed.
lie that we've told ourselves. Or should I say, it's just a way we try to make ourselves feel good. We get very high on our own supply because we are trying to tell ourselves we're indispensable. That you have to be the one to do the work because your clients always like you doing the work. If your vision is one of growth, if you're really looking at growth in your business, you will realize that there's only so much you can do. Because you're just one person. And the work that 10 people that are like you can do, you cannot even compare the result to what only you can do.
Can every founder or business owner be duplicated?
So what I would say is hire people that are smarter than you. That is the secret. That is the secret to grow and scale your business seamlessly. Don't be the smartest person in the room. So it doesn't matter how much experience you have on the job or how much experience you have running the business. When you realize that you also have limitations, you have weaknesses, leverage your strengths. Just stay in the area of your strength, but hire people who are great in your own area of weakness. Hire people that will complement you. Hire people that are better than you. That is where you will find rest, even when your business is growing. So you will find that you're not giving up your personal freedom in the quest to grow your business. A lot of people, what growth means for them in their business is more work, less sleep, less time with family. That is what growth means for them. And that is why they would rather choose to remain small. Because they are unable to give that much. They feel like they're already spent. And anything more than what they are currently doing is just going to take life out of them. So they would rather stay small. But they don't understand that wealth is hidden from a man who chooses to do everything by himself. Because it is in duplicating yourself that you are able to multiply value creation. And
Please, you need to say that again. You need to say that again. Wealth is hidden.
Is hidden from a man who chooses to do everything by himself. Because your wealth can only be multiplied when there are multiple people who are able to create as much value or even more than you are currently producing.
So good. So good.
And so think about compounding interest. Think about smart people like you, tens of you, doing the same fantastic work that you're doing. Then combine all of that effort and ask me if you're not going to see greatness. So for a lot of people, it's partly fear of, I don't want this thing to grow beyond what I can manage. I just want to be in control. It's fear, it's insecurity. Some people will not hire smart people because they always want to have the last say in every decision. They don't want to look like they don't have the answer to every situation. You don't have to. Just go and check out all of the people that we admire, great minds, great businessmen, great businesswomen, people that we read about and we admire. Guess what? They don't implement their vision. They hire men to implement their vision. Smart men, people that know how to, translate their vision to reality and run with it. That's what they do. That is the secret.
That is a secret.
You build capacity. You build capacity in form of systems. You build capacity in people. You build capacity using technology. That is what gives you the X factor.
I love that. I love how you've talked about technology now. I mean, how amiss are people who are not leveraging technology? Let's talk about, the benefit of technology in businesses and people who are, who are held back for, either fear of not knowing what to do, or who are not allowing themselves embrace the full benefits that technology gives us.
Honestly, I would not even imagine anybody in this day and age who is still thinking, whether they should use technology or not.
And I'm not talking about social media. I'm not talking about social media. Yeah, I'm talking about, should every business really be thinking about how can I add technology? How can I leverage technology to my my business model? What can I do to make my business perform better? Leveraging technology. Should every business be thinking about that? I'm not talking about social media here.
I agree with you. I mean, social media is not, there is social media technology, but that is not the only technology in the world. So imagine right now that as a business owner, you would rather keep your records by writing it in a notebook, your financial transactions, right? How cumbersome will that be? Imagine you're running volumes of transactions, running into hundreds of thousands of transactions on a daily basis. Excuse me, how many of that can you possibly keep in a notebook because you don't want to leverage technology? I mean, there are ERP systems, enterprise management systems that you can use to manage your transactions, that you can use to keep your books of account at the speed of light. You don't even have to think. And we capture all your details online, real time. So imagine that you are now saying that, sorry, I don't want to use technology because I'm not a tech person.
That's always the thing. A lot of people say I'm not really a tech person, and yeah.
Do you see? So just think about that as an example. And there are many other things. What about your customer service your customer service. Imagine what technology can give you in terms of multiple channels and multiple touch points with your clients. So you decide you don't want to leverage technology, you want to be, a brick and mortar company, and you want your customers to walk into your store only to be able to sell to them. You are already limited. Your market is global, but there's no way you can reach all the people that can possibly reach you from around the world, people that are not in your immediate environment. So you're already losing out. You've already cut yourself out from the rest of the world.
So true.
Technology is an enabler. Technology puts you on the map, and people can reach you from anywhere in the world. You're able to create multi-channel, omni-channel that gives you access, and people can reach you. Your product can go far and wide.
I love it. I love it. What is that responsibility that we have as kingdom citizens to, grow our businesses, to the nth degree? What is that thing that we should always be thinking and having behind our minds in terms of growing our businesses?
You see, as kingdom entrepreneurs, we are being given a mandate. And we're not like every other person. Do you see? We have a mandate, and our businesses is a vehicle. As kingdom entrepreneurs that are in business, our businesses need to glorify God and prefer superior solutions in the marketplace.
I love it.
So that mandate that God has given you in form of your business is now the vehicle through which you are bringing glory to God and you are bringing solution to mankind. When you realize that this is a ministry and it's not just a vehicle to butter your bread, it's not just a vehicle to provide money for you to travel around the world. I mean, you will definitely benefit from, the reward of doing diligent work as an obedient servant, right? There is reward for that. But more importantly, as kingdom entrepreneurs, our businesses are vehicles to propagate the gospel. And when I say gospel, I'm not just saying you're preaching, accept Jesus and everything, but by the experience that people have when they do business with you, when they can see Jesus in the way you do business, you don't have to preach Jesus before they begin to follow you. Before you begin to say things and they are wondering, what kind of person is this? What kind of woman is this? What kind of man is this? How is this person so different? How is it that, this person just stands out and is doing excellent business and is getting results? Guess what? They will want to find out what is making it work for you. And at that point in time, we introduce Jesus.
We are the Bible the world reads.
Exactly.
We are the Bible the world reads. I love it.
So our businesses is a platform for God. So
for ministry.
About you. It's a ministry.
I love it. I love
it's
it.
A ministry. And you know that even the gospel being preached requires that we're able to finance it. So God has given you a vehicle through which you can be a financier for the work of the kingdom. So guess what? God will bless that vehicle in your hand. But that blessing is not meant for you.
I love it.
You need to understand that everything you have been given. There is nothing you have that you have not been given.
I love
even the ideas that you are executing, you have been given the grace to even execute them. Gift.
I want to talk to you, Abiola, as we close. I want to talk to you about nurturing the seed. It's between the time where you have that idea in your heart and when you now have the boldness to step out, and then beyond when you now obviously now start to scale. What is that? What are some good practices that can help you nurture a business idea? Because I say this because sometimes people have all sorts of ideas and never make it and to see the day light of day. It gets killed within them, or maybe when they say it, somebody, says something and then it gets, squashed. But I want to talk about being, a visionary, being able to see up, possibilities as it pertains to a particular idea. And what are some good practices that we must do to be able to nurture it from that seed form in the heart till when it gets, manifested in real life?
One thing that I usually do and I advise people is there are some ideas that are given to you for now. And those ideas, you need to run with them now. There's some ideas that are given to you that are for the future. Meaning that the woman that will manifest that idea or that will launch that business is still in the making. There is a woman you need to become to be able to execute that idea. And so you will have to go through a journey of development. So first of all, bank your ideas. Journal. As the ideas are coming to you, journal. And if you're a kingdom person, you're a spirit-filled person, you will know which ideas are for the now. You will feel this burning. I don't know whether I'm the only one that feels it. But when I get an idea that doesn't give me rest, like when I feel like I just have to get this done now, I know that it is an idea for the now. And I get on it. Because any idea that God gives you that is meant for the now that you don't work on, guess what? 1,001 other people are going to receive the same idea and they're going to run with it. And tomorrow you will wake up and you realize, oh my God.
Yeah, it's out there.
Oh my God. This was the idea I caught. This was what I received. How come I did not do anything about it? Because God is giving you that idea because there is somebody that needs it.
I love it.
So being able to decipher which idea is for the now that needs to be executed now, and then the ability to step into rapid execution and be able to bring that idea to life is critical. And then being able to also identify the ideas that are not yet for the now, but you need to grow capacity to execute. You need to identify them as well. Now, when I say bank your ideas, I didn't say lock them and keep them. You're looking at those ideas. You are prayerfully asking yourself, what do I need to execute this idea? It may mean that you sit under somebody as a coach who is going to pour into you and you develop your capacity under that person. It may mean that you go back to school to go and learn something. It may mean that you go into research. It could be a combination of many things that you have to do, but you must grow the capacity to be able to do it.
I love it. Thank you so much. Amazing. Abiola, you've given us so much value today. I want to know where my listeners can find you. What are some of, what do you have that people, I'm sure people will want more of you. Where can we find you and what can we get from you?
You can definitely find me on LinkedIn as Abiola Adediran on LinkedIn. On Instagram, you can find me as Biola Flow. Right, you can definitely connect with me there. You can connect with me through my personal brand website, www.biolaflow.com. Any of these channels you can definitely reach me on. If you go to my Instagram bio, there are loads of resources that we have, whether it is that you want to build structure in your business, you want to organize your business better. We have coaching programs, that you can sign up on, whether it's the one-on-one or it's the group coaching, right? And we have several materials, resources, toolkits, ebooks, that God has given us grace to be able to to create, so to add
Mm.
value and to help people to create solution. So if you go to my Instagram bio at Biola Flow, or if you go to www.biolaflow.com, you will see where all the my body of work is. And then my company website is www.midridgeinternational.com. And through all of these platforms, you can definitely reach me.
Woo! Thank you so, so much. Thank you so
You're
much. This has been such an
welcome.
enriching conversation. I myself, first partaker, completely blessed, took notes, and I'm ready to run with it. Thank you so much for being here today,
I
and I
thoroughly
really
enjoyed it.
appreciate you. Ah, I'm so glad. Thank you so much.